Okay, welcome to the May 6th Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment meeting. We ask that anybody that has a cell phone or anything kind of noisy, if you'd silence that at this time or turn it off one way or another. If there's any questions on how we decide our issues here or how we conduct the meeting, you can refer to the agenda for today or to the individual applications that you would have a copy of. Or you can ask us any questions on that also. The first order is approval of the minutes of the prior meeting.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second. Motion is second to approve the minutes of the prior meeting. All in favor say aye. Aye. No, we got to vote. Don't we? Oh, got to do this.
Let the record show I'm abstaining. I was absent.
Okay. And I would abstain because I was absent.
Yeah, very good. They're approved. Next item is request for continuances and withdrawals.
We have none.
Right. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to request a continuance or a withdrawal for a certain item here? None? Okay, next item is items requiring separate vote. Yes?
Item number 1, case number 13229, request of 308 Design Collaborative for a variance to permit the installation of new parking lot with an alternative surface in the BBD district located at 714 West Sheridan Avenue.
I will be recusing myself from this case. Thank you.
Thanks.
They're included in the packet.
All right. Thank you.
Can you give us your name and address?
Yes. My name is Hans Bulzer. My partner, Jeremy Gardner. We are with BG Design. We are representatives of the entity seeking a variance on this. We are located at 628 Sheridan.
Great. Go ahead.
The handouts there explicate the design, proposed design of the parking lot itself, along with the proposed improvements to the adjacent property. Basically, we are a group of individuals seeking to purchase this dirt lot located at 714 West Sheridan, and we hope to put down a permeable paving system for this courtyard / parking area. The overall goal with this paving system is to transform the dirt lot into an inviting, attractive, sustainable courtyard space, both for parking as well as for it to serve as the entry to our proposed offices, which would be immediately adjacent to the west of this lot, courtyard. We propose the implementation of this proven permeable paving system, which was developed by civil engineers and is also endorsed by the Department of Public Works. It allows rain and storm water to permeate directly into the ground below, as opposed to have it feed directly into the storm system. The system we propose here is actually similar to the paving system that my partner and I proposed for property around the corner from here, located at 215 North Walker, a system for which a variance was granted 1.5 years ago. The permeable paving systems in general are being increasingly recognized nationwide as more sustainable, attractive solutions to the typical parking and storm runoff challenges that we face in general. What we believe is peculiar to our condition and why we seek the variance specifically is that, first of all, the lot is private and that there will be signage indicating that it is a private lot. No parking is actually even required in the downtown area. It is a narrow lot, discreetly set off from the street. from Sheridan. The lot is as much an entry courtyard to our planned office space as it is a place to park our vehicles. It creates a more pedestrian-oriented outdoor space. And also, again, it is currently simply a dirt lot, so it's not like we're removing anything positive, or anything attractive for that matter. Not only do we believe there are peculiar circumstances to the situation, but also we believe the proposed permeable paving system has numerous positive attributes that benefit the community, among others. We're using Oklahoma black slate, which is a beautiful, elegant material. We're not using any gravel of any sort. This is a very sophisticated-looking design concept. This system reduces the amount of heat buildup in the downtown area, a very sustainable strategy or approach. It reduces the amount of water that enters the city's storm system, thereby reducing the loads on that system versus a typical concrete parking lot. It is fully ADA compliant. And lastly, it's as or maybe even more expensive than a typical concrete lot. So again, we're not doing this because we're trying to do something cheaper, but actually we're doing it because we think it's better. So at this moment, we simply invite any questions you may have for us in this regard.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I think on the property you referred to on Walker, is that Grant Humphreys?
That's correct.
Their offices? I think that, didn't we condition that on a 2-year period of looking at it, see it how it held 3 years, how it held up, and then come back to us with a report on that, and maybe then eventually the code itself may be modified to address what you guys are trying to achieve. Consistent with the prior case, I'd suggest we put a 3-year report back period on it so that we can get some kind of input, certainly on a going forward basis, to know whether that kind of paving or treatment's going to work.
Wasn't part of that, too, that they were ensuring that was a private lot?
Yes, they were.
Yes. Which I think would be an important part of the deal, too.
Yeah, well, as long as it's not high traffic of customers in and out and that sort of thing.
No,
What kind of a signage or restriction are you planning on imposing there to make that a private lot as opposed to...
Well, there will be a sign out that says it is a private lot.
Specifically, that's what you're going to say? Private lot? Not for public parking?
We may include that note as well, not for public parking.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how we make it palatable for the moment.
Right. No,
Because it may, these things may change. I mean, there's changing attitudes towards all this. But
right.
As far as the peculiar part, I mean, the private lot was the main thing that interested me. Some of the other things, the fact that it's now dirt. I mean, everything in town's that way. It's now dirt. You're going to pave it. But, and then the appearance part of it, I thought was to me is also important. And then the question of ADA compliant. Which is a very important part of that.
Yes.
So ADA, you can qualify this surface for that. I mean, it packs well enough for that, for the handicap
That's correct.
scooters or whatever it might be.
That's correct.
This is the kind of shape of rock and kind of a rock that binds itself together and that type of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for the purpose of the ADA specifically, there is a distinct ADA path as well from, the ADA parking we are offering directly to the doors as well. So,
it's certainly easier to repair.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve, conditioned on a 3-year report back to us as far as the condition of the surface, the maintenance of it, and I think there ought to be an obligation to maintain. I assume you're going to represent that for a 3-year period like we have in the prior case.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the application. All in favor, signify by their switch. It's approved.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Item number 2. Item number 2, case number 13245, request of Jason and Crystal
record your
Pritchard
votes.
for variance to the minimum lot size to permit a residence in the AA Agricultural District located at 5701 Donna Lane.
All right, new to this, what do you want from me?
What's your name and address first?
My name's Jason Pritchard, live at 13701 Southeast 59th Street, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
We're requesting to build at the address 5701 South Donna Lane, Oklahoma City. It's a
Try and be sure to
it's been
speak into-
it's
speak
been
into the
zoned
mic there,
agricultural, so we're supposed to build on 5 or more acres, but we're trying to build on 2.5 to 3 acres to split a lot that's already a little over 5 acres.
You indicate in your application that there previously was a mobile home or manufactured home on the property, and you have had that removed, or?
Yes, the people who lived there before, they actually moved the trailer down the road a little ways.
Was that trailer on there when the house was there also?
No.
Okay, no, okay. So that doesn't really matter today, does it?
Yeah, no, I was just, well, the reason I had stated that is because that's the well that the well's down there already is the only reason I stated that.
There's a letter here about how you'd access that.
Access the house.
Yeah, access to Donna Lane, or?
Yes, we'd come straight in off of Donna Lane is where we would come in off of, not 55th. 55th
Okay.
does not connect to Donna Lane in any way.
Yeah.
JJ, you mentioned that the split would leave the remaining tract unconforming. The variance have to be requested for that as well?
Well, you actually would be granting kind of a double variance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because both properties are included in the legal description.
My question's to staff. There's on page 2, I guess there's several page 2s, but the drawing that shows the 5-acre tract, the 1.7-acre tract, the 3.7-acre tract, and then the .931 acre, how did that come about?
Well, many of these are going to be pre-existing before annexation. So they come into the city automatically at Zone AA. And so there's many lots out there already that were there before we annexed them in that was smaller than 5 acres. And there's one across the street that the board granted a variance for. If you'll look at this exhibit, a couple of pages back, you can see there's several there that are under 5 acres on Donna Lane.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We've got a letter.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We've got a letter of protest. I just wonder if maybe anybody has protested in the
Is there anybody in the audience to protest? I think that had to do with access to 55th, didn't it? Yeah. And he'd be happy if we restricted that from the...
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not driving down a dirt road to get to my back door when Donna Lane goes to my house or
I
to the
understand.
front. Yeah.
We're just being respectful of everybody's opinion here.
Yes.
Second. I made a motion.
Okay, second.
You second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the application. Everyone record their vote.
Oh, yeah.
Approved. All right. Good.
Item number 3, case number 13249, request of White Operating Company for a variance to the street paving requirements and the sidewalk requirements in the I-1 district located at 2400 South High Avenue.
I'm Lloyd White, president of White Operating Company. Our address is 5100 South I-35 Service Road, Suite 200. Our request is in 2 parts, both of them having to do with paving requirements. This location is in an area that's not very much developed, and what development there is primarily industrial. Our facility is a commercial saltwater disposal facility. I believe there was an aerial photograph that was one of your attachments that shows the facility. Trucks enter off a high street. They travel a gravel road go past the unloading station, back up, unload, and turn around, circle around and leave, go back out High Street the way they came in. We're proposing to build a warehouse with a little corner of it reserved for office space. And what we believe will happen if we follow the ordinance and pave that road all the way from High Street to the warehouse building is that these heavy trucks full of salt water coming in and out are just a matter of time going to start ruining that pavement, and then the pavement will get bad and start tearing up the trucks, and the trucks will quit coming, and that won't be a good situation. What we propose as an alternative is that we would provide a standard paved entrance coming off of High Street and also paving around the shop building at the overhead doors and for the handicap parking and the turnaround for the handicap parking area, as well as the sidewalk that goes around the building itself. The second item has to do with the requirement of sidewalk along High Street. At the present time, there are no sidewalks along High Street all the way from I-40 to I-240, nowhere along High Street, but there are no businesses that have access by pedestrian traffic in the area. We believe literally this would be a sidewalk to nowhere, to have a little chunk of sidewalk out there along High Street. So we're asking that that requirement be waived.
Given that there's no unfavorable considerations, and move to approve.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the application. Everyone record their votes. You're approved. Thank you.
Item number 4, case number 13252, request of Virginia and Joe Hickman for a variance to allow 2 homes on one lot in the AA District located at 20701 Southeast 74th Street.
You can pull that microphone down. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Give us your name and address, please.
Virginia Hickman at 20701 Southeast 74th, Newalla.
Okay. Is there anything you wanted to say at this time?
I beg your pardon?
Is there anything you wanted to say on behalf of the application right now?
Will you mind if my niece speaks? They came to help me because I haven't been able to help myself lately.
Okay.
So we're trying to get we put a trailer house in and we're trying to get the lights turned, permit for the lights on, because the house that she lives in is not livable at all. The floors are fixing to cave in, and we're trying to get into the trailer house so that we can fix the house that she's in. The one that's angled like this is the trailer house, and then the little square in the middle is the house. The 3 on the outside are buildings that they had there. There are no...
Some were chicken built,
yeah.
chicken houses, the others storage.
Yes.
Is she living in the
Right now, we're living in the house.
okay, where it says house, who's living in the mobile home?
We're not in the mobile home because we don't have a light or anything on it.
Is it still there?
Yes, we just put it in there.
Are you going to remove that?
The mobile home?
Uh-huh.
And not until we finish fixing her house. We wanted permission to be able to have both buildings on the lot, on a 10-acre lot.
But are you going to remove the mobile home after?
Yeah.
We probably will. I don't know at this time.
That's the issue we're talking about right now.
We will move the trailer house, but I don't know how long it's going to take us to fix her house.
How long do you need?
Right now, my husband's on the road, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean, you think a year?
Yes.
And we really don't have finances right now.
Yeah.
But we will get it done within a year.
Within a year?
Early. That's why we needed
Okay.
permission to be able to get the trailer house and the house in the same place.
Okay.
Because, I'm not from here, so I didn't know what the rules were.
Yeah.
I live in Texas, so I was like, I didn't know I had to go through all.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know I had to go through
No rules in
this.
Texas, are there?
You're from Texas?
Yes.
What's with the OU shirt? I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I moved here. I live here now in New Orleans, but I'm originally from Texas, so.
Have a motion? Any more questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
For, you going to limit that? Huh?
Length of time.
Yeah, for the 1 year, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll second that, but I want to caution you, you could come back after, if you're not finished within the 1 year, you'll need to come back, and that might present another issue for you. I don't know how we'd handle that necessarily.
So I was told that if we get this variance, we'd be able to we have enough time to be able to fix our house.
We're giving you a year right now.
Okay.
If you don't do it in a year, then you got the issue to...
What's the permit for, to be able to get the light turned on to the other house so that we can get in there so we can get to her
This
house?
is the first step to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't
Yeah.
have no idea what,
But the point of it is that, are you sure you can finish it in a year?
if nothing happens, yes, to be able to. Because we came during the winter, and that's when we were coming forward to fix our house, but then it snowed and everything, and we couldn't do anything to it.
Okay.
So we decided to get the trailer house in the meantime so we could fix her house.
Okay.
They can come back in a year if they have a problem, can't they?
I'd modify the motion to a year and a half, just for simplicity.
Okay, that would,
Okay. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
Yeah?
Second? Do you need a second then?
Is that the
I
motion?
think there was a second.
Okay.
I was the second. Oh, you need
Modification
a
is
second on
fine.
that?
Well, we have a motion and a second to approve the application as conditioned. Everyone record their vote. Okay, you're approved for 18 months.
so we get the permit in the mail, or how's that work?
Can you modify it?
So they said 18 months.
You need to come down to the city, to the plan review office, and get a permit for the mobile home now.
So I gotta go
With
back.
this approval, you can get the permit for the mobile home.
Okay, that'll work.
Then you can get your electricity.
Huh?
Then you get your electricity.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to recuse myself from the next case involved in it.
Item number 5, case number 13251, requested 2519 Northwest 23rd Street for variance to permit the encroachment of an existing building in the front and rear yard setback in the C3 UCD districts located at 2519 Northwest 23rd Street.
Yeah, my name's Tom Mobley, and I represent the partnership that owns the building, and we occupy the building also at 2519 Northwest 23rd Street. It's a pretty simple request. The building was built in 1954, and we would like to guarantee we can maintain the footprint of the building over a period of time and go forward.
And you're having to get the variance basically because the building's getting purchased and it's non-conforming to the...
Yeah, we do have a purchase contract in place, and it's just something we had not addressed historically since we bought the building. And in order to maintain access into the building with the bay door in the back and the front entryway and stairwells, if we had to change the footprint of the building at any time due to damage, we would have a large problem.
Outside of the building itself, you've complied with all the other setbacks?
Yes.
Okay. Move to approve?
Second.
Okay, everybody please record your vote. You're approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, case number 13248, requested Rocky Falwell for a variance to permit access for 2 lots with limited street frontage in the AA district located at 7535 Southwest 119th Street.
My name is Rocky Falwell, live at 33 Southwest 101st Street, Oklahoma City. This is my mother-in-law, Maxine Canfield. I hope the hat doesn't persuade anybody. Should I hide it? Or?
It's okay, I went to OSU.
Okay.
It's all right.
Basically, we own some land. I own 10 acres. My mother-in-law owns 5 acres adjacent to it. We're trying to get a permit to build a storage barn building on the 10-acre lot. And they said that I need an address to get a permit. So I didn't have an address at the time. And to get an address, they say I need so many feet of frontage on 119th, which I don't have. So, but we do have a road easement that connects to both properties. So basically, I'm looking to try to get an address for each of the properties so that we won't have to go through this again to get a permit to build. So
Mrs. Canfield doesn't have an address?
She does not have an address either.
I have an address in the city.
We bought.
You don't live there, right? No. Okay.
No, these are just land. It's just land. That's all there is. There's no buildings on this land. We bought it in 2002, and we thought at the time that the road easement would give us all that we needed, but apparently not.
But you're not going to have. Is there going to be a residence on each track?
There, in the future, that's a possibility. Yes.
I live long enough.
How old are you? Sorry.
Look.
But we're just starting out with a metal building at the moment. With the prices, we've got a little garden that we've got, a vegetable garden we're growing out there. So we'd like, and I've got a well on the land. So we're just trying to get a place to store some, equipment, tractor, and be able to get out there and just do some stuff. But eventually we'll probably build a regular home, maybe on each of the properties.
Do you have any questions? Move to approve. Not just because I went to OSU either.
Second, I guess. I wish you
get another hat.
No, you didn't make any points over here. Get the other lady back in here. That'll help you a little bit. Motion is second to approve. Everyone record their votes. Approved.
Thank you.
That.
Item number 7, case number 13250, request of Crossings Community Church for a variance to permit the installation of a new sign that exceeds the height and size requirements in the O2 and PUD 231 districts, located at 14600 North Portland Avenue.
I'm going to recuse from this one because I'm a member there.
Okay. My name is Brian Kuhn. I'm with Kuhn Engineering, but today I represent Crossings Community Church because I go there also. But I can't recuse myself because I want to talk to you a little bit. You all probably know where this property is at on North Portland, about a half a mile north of Memorial Road. And I've got some pictures here that I would like to show you. The first two are proposed signs we would like to do. Then the next pictures, I'll just quickly, this is the current sign on Portland right now. It's about 14 foot tall. I'll give you the exact dimensions. This is a view as you're driving north on Portland. As you can see, you can kind of see the top of the sign through the trees and the hill. This shows the top of the sign a little bit better as you're going northbound. This Portland will be widened sometime by ODOT in the future, and there will be an access road in front of the property. But this is kind of where the access road will go. So I know this hill will disappear, but it's going to be, this sign will go back probably 100 feet that way in the future because the access road is moving. So it's going to be about the same view. That's looking north.
That's not from Portland, though, right? That's from about 30 foot east of Portland.
Yes, and that's what I was explaining. That's where the future access road will be. But our sign, the future access road is east of current Portland now. But then again, the sign will be moving further east also. So it'll be a similar situation.
This is the current sign on 150th, and this is a view as you're on 150th, as you're looking west, if you're approaching that south or north entrance from the east. Currently on 150th, the current sign is 10'4" high by 6 foot wide. What we're asking for is 12'9" wide or high. The current regulation in O2 allows 200 square feet. We're asking, 150. We're asking for that sign to be 130 square feet on the one on 150th, and again, only 12'9", so it's about 2.5 feet taller than the sign that we have now on 150th. The one on Portland currently is 14'2", and we're asking for that sign to be 20 feet high. Again, right now it's 9 feet wide, and we're asking for the new one to be 8'9", so generally about 9 foot wide, so the same width. But the 20-foot sign on Portland will also, the base of it, as you can see on that sign, the base is 3'4", so the total sign is about 17 foot high. One of the things I was looking in the staff report, one of the comments is that this is a large campus, so you can't miss where the church is. I'm not concerned about people that are going to that church. I've been going to that church since it opened. I know where I turn in every Sunday or Wednesday nights when I go to church. The people that I'm concerned with are the people that come there for the first or second time. Monday nights we have what we call a care series. There's about 500 people that come to care series at our church. Most of them are not church members. Gamblers Anonymous, an anger management class. There's a Celebrate Recovery class, which is similar to AA. There's a lot of community people that come that are not part of the church. Wednesday nights we have classes. We host a community event about once a month, which is not just church folks. So a lot of people come to this campus that are not normal members. And if you've ever been on Portland, if you're there at 5 o'clock at night, it's not a problem because the traffic's going about 2 miles an hour. But if you're going on Portland northbound during the day at any time other than that rush hour, traffic is really moving fast. We've had a lot of very serious accidents from people trying to make U-turns on Portland. So what we're trying to do is to let them know this is the main entrance. There's 3 entrances on Portland. We only have one of them signed, and that's where we want people to enter our property. The first one is on the southern end of our property. If you come over that hill and try to make that turn to the right immediately, it's dangerous. So we want to direct the people to the middle entrance. It's a boulevard entrance, and again, it's mostly for the people that don't normally go to church there. I know the sign is there, but I don't know if I've ever really read it until I saw those pictures today, so I know the site. Again, we're not trying to compete with anybody on signage. It's not like there's 12 signs out there and we're saying, hey, come to our business to buy our hamburgers or whatever. So it's not a competition thing. Francis Title Votech is north of us. I think they've got some signage on their building, so it's not really competition with them. But because of the site conditions, and I know, like I said, that one picture is, there's a nursing home just south of us, and that picture is pretty much standing in front of that nursing home on that access road, looking north, so you can barely see our sign. But when that access road is moved over, our sign will move further east, and it will be pretty much the same thing, just further east. One on 150th, again, if you're going west, which is where, if you're coming to the church, most likely, if you're not coming up Portland, you're going to be coming from that part of the city. You can't see that sign until you're right on it, and you can see from that picture I gave you, you're pretty close to that intersection before you see what the sign says. So we request your comments and just request your approval. Again, this is just to replace the 2 signs that are there now, and one of them will probably be a couple of years from now on the Portland side just because ODOT's not ready to do their business yet, but we just thought, let's do them both while we're down here. So we've developed a new logo in the past couple of years, and that's in our signs, as you can see from that light brown, they're pretty faded, and we'd like to put up a new sign. So they're not neon, they're not any flashing lights, pretty unobtrusive, and don't believe they'd create any hardship for any neighbors. There are none. North of us is Kerr-McGee, so it's more of a safety issue to get people to know where to turn when they get there. So answer any questions if you have any.
Is the ODOT plans are they in place? Do we know what's going to happen there?
Right now, the plan, I think it's on Plan F or G or H. The access road that you go north on right now past Chili's, it kind of hooks and goes back over. That will continue to go north. At 150th will be a Texas turnaround, so you'll be able to turn around and come back the other way, but it's divided at that location. It'll still be a divided highway. By the time you get to 150th Street, it turns into a 5-lane, kind of like May Avenue is in northern Oklahoma City, where it's 4-lane with the center lane turn, kind of like Northwest Highway used to be, so it'll be that. But it'll be a divided highway up until you reach 150th.
Will the church maintain the turn lane? Will that still be in place? If you're heading north on Portland now, there is a turn lane into the church. Will that also?
Yes, we will still have those 3 entrances off of the access road. I know for a couple of years it's going to be a pain just because that's our main traffic, but in the future I think it'll be better just because it's traffic hopefully will be going slower. But yes, we'll still maintain those 3 guys, but we'll only have the one main entrance where we have the sign.
Actually, what I was asking about was the turn lane that goes into that main entrance that's currently...
You know what? I don't know what they plan on doing there. I don't know if they'll have a turn lane or not. That'll be up to them. I don't know.
Questions or comments from members of the board?
Ordinance says 8 foot, you're asking for 12.
Asking for 12 on 150th and asking for 20 on Portland.
Okay, and 150 foot, and you're asking for 130.
130 on 150th.
Okay.
On the other one, it would be 169 square feet on Portland. It'd be 17 or 16 actually by 9, so just barely over as far as square footage on the Portland side. And as you can see, we landscape the base. We keep them nice looking. And, across the street, it's interesting, across the street there's several billboards, but across the street is C3. And so we're not competing with those either. But
Isn't there signs on the church on the Portland side right now, and signs on the church on the 150th side?
There's no signs on the church. No. Francis Tuttle has some signs on their building.
Who?
Francis Tuttle, the VOCAC.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But the church has no signage on the building at all.
You do have a couple of banners out front there along Portland, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I drove it just today at lunch, and I mean, along 150th, I can see the need to have a little extra height. There's definitely a circumstance there that is pretty dangerous heading westbound on 150th. I am struggling with the Portland sign getting so large.
Okay.
and a reason. There appears to be 2 flashing yellow church entrance signs on Portland as well, going north or south, to alert people that the church is coming up. So there's a lot going on there to tell people where that entrance is along Portland.
In a little detail, not to be argumentative at all, I know the site pretty well because I go there and we do also done a lot of engineering. That Southern Drive is for the school, is mostly school because we have a school there now, up through about 9th grade, I believe, 10th grade. So we're trying to not encourage people to turn at the first driveway. We really, even during school hours, we try to close that gate so that people will go to the middle. So I understand what you're saying. You know that it's coming up. But we are really trying to direct them to that middle driveway. I'm afraid 8 foot at 50 miles an hour is that's not much taller than me. So it's a safety issue. We're not trying to advertise, which, you know what I mean?
And I can see the need for a little larger than what's allowed because of the speed along Portland as well. I'm still struggling with the 20 foot.
Okay, can you give me a second? Just a second.
I'm not good.
What if we did both of them at the 14.9, the one on 150th and on Portland? Because the one on Portland now is 14.2, so it's not going to be much different than what's there now. It's 14.2 by 9, so we would make the other one 14.2 by, that'd be 14.2 by 8'9". So actually, the one on 150th, we're looking for 12'9", and we're fine with that.
Right.
And maybe the Portland could be 14'9". I'm sorry, So it'd be at 14.2, which is what's there now.
I'm having a hard time with this sign number 2. You say it's only 14 foot?
Which one's number 2?
The one on the Portland side.
The Portland sign is, right now, is 14.2 by 9.
Okay.
And what I'm saying, instead of going to 20, we would stay with 14.2 and be at 8'9". So it'd be it's essentially the same size as what's there now.
And just to comment, I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But you want both of them 14.2?
Well, no, 150th, on 150th, I'll stay at 12.9, which is what the application says. I'm sorry, 150th, did I say 150th?
150th, yeah, the rendering shows 12'9" by 8'9".
Yeah, we'll stay with
and
that.
It's currently 10'4" by 6
Right.
on 150th. It's tough to see that. You don't see that sign until you're coming up on it. Your new graphics will do a lot of good as well, because right now it's pretty monochromatic and very hard to see the lettering against the beige. So
this will help. Yeah, we'd ask 12.9 on 150th and 14.2, which is what's existing on Portland. And if we go to 14.9, then we don't need any variance as far as square footage.
additional questions or comments from the board?
Did we get what he agreed to?
I think what he's saying is along Portland, it would stay the same.
Okay, Portland would be 14.2.
Okay, now when you say 14.2, that means to the top?
To the top.
To the top of the cross? Or
Yes, sir, to the top
circle.
of the circle. And it would be by 8'9", which is what was requested.
Okay.
And on 150th, we're requesting 12'9" high. And I don't have that drawing, but it's whatever that width is.
Yeah, I think it's 12'9" by 8'9".
There you go.
It is.
Currently, it's 10'4" by 6.
Okay.
And there's some height that could help there.
I'll make a motion to approve, but you're going to get me in trouble with Mr. B.
I understand.
You know that.
I understand.
Okay. All right.
He'll be over. I'll have time to get there because he'll be over here. You're still over there.
Maybe will represent you.
There's a motion. And is there a second?
Second.
Oh.
And all those in favor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I could, where are those pictures? Where are the pictures in that?
Yes, sir. No, I don't need them. Thanks.
Item number 8, case number 13254, request of Old Surety Life Insurance for a variance to permit the construction of a 55-foot-high office commercial building in the C302 districts located at 5201 North Lincoln Boulevard.
I'm going to recuse myself from this case.
We're going to call this the day of recusal. Dennis Fox on behalf of the applicant. The application that you have in front of you also have a letter, and I want this board to know that there have been at least 2 meetings, numerous telephone calls, and we have talked to Gail Ward as late as today and agreed that we would place the following conditions upon our application. Now, Gail Ward is executive director with the property directly to the west of where we have our parking. It's the Association of County Commissioners. We agreed that we would configure our parking lot to avoid removal of the 2 elm trees, 2 oak trees nearest our common property line, and we will submit to Mr. Chambliss a drawing that will show that, so there won't be any confusion. We're going to keep our the edge of our parking 24 inches from the common property line. The parking lot that is on the property directly west of us is a little over a foot to a foot and a half. So we're going to come somewhere close to about 3 feet 9 inches is about what we're going to have between the 2 properties, and
that comes into play because we're going to install 5-inch, 5-foot hollies, and we're going to, except for where there's a privacy fence, and we're going to provide irrigation. So what you're going to see is we've cooperated with the abutting property owner, and we're going to try to save the large trees, even though they're on our property. We think that's the right thing to do, and our architect has worked out a way that we can still have the same number of parking spaces. This is an unusual piece of property in that when you look at it, what you have is a scenario where the height is consistent with our neighbors, both to the south and to the west, but we have a situation where we're about 183 feet from the property line, and we're 700 feet from the nearest residence. So we have a very wide boulevard in Lincoln, and as a result, when you do the calculations on where that R1 property is, it impacts our ability to build 3 stories, which we think is appropriate. With regard to the parking, we have reviewed the code. We are confident that 113 spaces is the correct amount. Our parking will be on the west side of the street with our building on the east side. What that allows is for us to have more common area next to our building. It will be a mixed-use building, hopefully a restaurant, and then additional uses. And when you calculate the numbers together, and I've worked with your staff, 113 is the number that is required. So we're here to ask your approval. Your staff report indicates that there are no negative considerations. I don't know if anybody's here in regard to this case, but we have worked with the abutting property owner, and if you were inclined to approve it, we would ask that you make the conditions that I put in the record part of any approval.
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve with Dennis's agreed to recommendations on the tree removal, property line, the hollies, et cetera. So do we need to state that? Do we need to state that specifically?
Do we have it down?
Actually, I have a written copy, and I'll give it to your staff, and then we'll have a picture that will reflect that. I'll second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the application with the conditions attached to it. Please record your vote. It's approved.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Did Dennis identify himself? Did Dennis identify himself? Who is that guy?
See, item E, case number, actually BOA 13244, request to consider or reconsider appeal of Burt and Mary Bowman of the decision of the Historic Preservation Commission regarding the denial of a certificate of appropriateness.
That is my motion. We are requesting a reconsideration for the purpose of the last hearing. I did not receive any notification that the hearing was being held. In fact, I believe I spoke with Mr. Gross the day before and told him I was sending over some other documents, and even at that time I had no knowledge that there was any hearing that was set for the following day. I can just tell you that the building that I'm in is a new building. It's got several different areas in which mail can be delivered, and we've had some problems, and if people don't put the suite number, and it came to Mary and Burt Top, they don't know anybody with the name of Mary and Burt at that particular building, although my name was below that. It didn't have the suite number, it didn't have the extra 4 digits, which were contrary to the notices that had been provided to me for the hearings passed before we appealed to this board, and therefore I'm asking to reconsider and allow us the opportunity to present the information to you at not the next hearing, but hopefully the hearing after that, because I planning on not being in Oklahoma City on the first Wednesday of June, so that is our request.
Okay. Questions?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay.
Does another notice need to be circulated as a result? Is there enough time to do the first meeting in June?
She won't be
cannot
there.
be
She wants
here for June.
the next meeting.
The second meeting in June.
Are there two?
What is the date of the second meeting?
One in July, probably, yeah.
June 17th.
I believe I'm in town then. Seems kind of hectic.
3rd and 17th.
3rd and 17th.
Okay. Until the June 17th.
That would be great.
And you seconded it?
Second.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the
Something messed up now.
The request
the
to
request for
reconsider.
motion to reconsider. Everyone record their vote. Okay, approved. See you on the 17th.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Oh. Everyone record their vote.